So how much does VA Disability allow me to purchase in the form of a home utilizing my VA home loan benefit? That's exactly what we're going to discuss today. So this is an example, and right, it can vary depending upon various factors like income, credit scores, the day of lock, along with liabilities, etc. But I think that the information that I'm about to give you will provide you with a general framework that will allow you to kind of get a gauge on how much you might qualify for utilizing your VA disability in relation to a purchase price with a VA loan. So let's discuss this a little bit more in greater detail, shall we? So let's say that we have a veteran. Veteran has a spouse and a child, right? And they're considered, according to VA, a family size of 3s. Generally speaking, the VA disability income may be in the range of roughly $4,098 a month. Again, this can change depending upon several different factors. However, in this particular instance, if the service member was receiving $4,098 a month and you were to do something called gross that income up, that would mean that we're essentially using it because it's tax-free income. We're showing that it is taxable. This is something that lenders allow veterans to do related to VA home loans, right? So think about it for a second. If somebody comes to me and says, Jimmy, I want to be able to purchase a home, and they're using their gross monthly income to qualify, how is it fair to the veteran if they have VA disability that's non-taxable, right? And somebody else gets to qualify for more utilizing their gross monthly income, in other words, before taxes. So that's essentially what we as mortgage lenders will do. We'll gross up that non-taxable income, potentially allowing you to qualify for more. So in this particular example, that grossed up portion takes your VA 100% disability income to approximately $5,122 a month. Now, I want to slow down for a second. I want to say this, that VA is a little bit different. Jimmy, how do you mean exactly? Well, VA is different from the standpoint of they're not as concerned about what's referred to as debt to income ratios. They follow along a particular chart called residual income. So here's why this is important. VA has a chart, and I'll make this chart available in the video in the comment section down below. But the VA residual income chart basically states that according to your family size, you must have this number left over at the end of the month in order to qualify by way of income for the VA loan. You following me along on that? In this particular example, a family size of 3 purchasing a home in the West Coast is about $990. You have to have that amount of money left over at the end of the month in order to qualify. If the debt to income ratio is above a 41%, VA makes us increase that number by 20%. So in this particular example, the actual residual income requirement for the veteran would be approximately $1,188 a month. You must have that $1,188 amount of money left over. You follow me along on that? So let's say that a veteran wants to have a mortgage payment that's roughly somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,000 a month. So in addition to that, the veteran has $500 a month in liabilities. This can come in the form of an auto loan or credit cards or various other liabilities that may be reporting on your credit report. This does not include anything like how would you say, cell phone bills or internet or things of that nature. So we're not going to include that in this particular calculation. The $2,000 a month mortgage payment plus the $500 in liabilities that report on your credit report essentially equate to, you guessed it, $2,500 a month. If we take this one step further and we take that number of $2,500 and we divide it into your gross is somewhere around the $2,500 a month to make it appear as if it were taxed. So we take that $2,500 a month number and we divide it into your monthly income, in this case of $5,122.50 a month. This equates to, if you're doing the math, a 48% debt to income ratio. So if you've been following me along, what we as mortgage lenders have to do is we have to now go back to that residual income chart. And so what happens next is we take your net VA disability income, in this case of $4,098 a month, right? We subtract out your monthly liabilities of $500 a month. From there, we subtract out your mortgage payment of $2,000 a month. So in this particular example, the mandatory or required VA residual income would be right at around $1,188 a month. We take your residual income and boom, you can see that the residual income factor, or the amount of money that you have left over, in this case of $1,598, exceeds the VA mandatory requirement for a family size of 3, veteran, veteran spouse, and a child, of approximately $1,000 $2,188 a month. So now you can see that you, as the veteran in this particular example, are qualified by way of income according to the VA residual income requirements, right? We haven't learned what a $2,000 a month mortgage payment translates to in the form of a purchase price. So if we're using a hypothetical rate, in this particular instance of 6.5%, $275,000 would translate to a roughly $1,738 a month mortgage payment. Now we have to keep in mind that there's real estate taxes and homeowners insurance involved. And I guess this is a good opportunity for me to say, if you are a 100% service-connected veteran, permanent and total, you may be able to have this particular tax rate, depending upon your tax locality or municipality, you may be able to have your taxes waived, but this is important for you to get locked on before you purchase a home. We add in taxes and insurance, roughly $261 a month, and that, there you have it, translates to a roughly $2,000 a month mortgage payment. So in this particular example, a veteran who's earning somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,100 a month in 100% VA service-connected disability could theoretically qualify for a $275,000 purchase price. You guys with me on that? Keeping in mind that if your spouse has income, that can also be included in the file. If you have Social Security benefits, that can also be included, allowing you to potentially qualify for more. In addition to Social Security, if you have a full-time job, obviously we as the mortgage lender are going to use that income to qualify you as well. Good to go? My name is Jimmy Vercellino. If you have more questions about this stuff, go ahead and drop a comment down below. Make sure to click like on the video if you found that this information has value. And lastly, subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about VA home loan benefits. We'll talk to you soon.